Do you remember your first aspiration that you had when you were originally in film? Now, it might be that you wanted to be a director, or you wanted to be a gaffer, or whatever, a camera operator. And then you got more into it, and then you decided, you know what, I don't want those things. I actually want to be a DP, or I don't want to be a director. I do want to be a camera operator. But you found something else that, you were like, oh, that's the thing that I was going after. That apostrophe S on the that's the aspiration. Because the aspiration is the feeling of doing that job and being in that place and working with that gear and having your hands on it and operating it and seeing that image on the screen. That feeling that you had originally, that was your aspiration. Now, a lot of times people forget about that feeling, about that thing. And for me, it was lighting. For me, it was all it was ever about was lighting. I mean, when I grew up, my brother was in this band, and the only way that I could really fit in with them was to be able to decide to be a photographer, and I'd be taking their pictures because I didn't have a lot of friends. So I stuck to my comics, and I stuck to my brother's band, and I would do photos of them, and I would put them, the negatives into the enlarger, and I'd print them out and stuff like that. I'd do different things like that. But that feeling of when I first realized what it was light. And it was light in film. Not in photography film. It was light in cinema. And it was seeing somebody's face, now I know, to be lit up on the right side with a book light and blinking and turning, and the light inside the eyes, not the reflection of the bounce card that was there, but this light that went inside the eye and just lit it up. It was this close-up shot. That's the image I get when I think of my feeling of my aspiration in film. And that's what I go for. So that kind of drives me for what I want. So being a traveling cinematographer, I want to see that light in the eyes of people all across the world. And that's what I want to do. But I forgot about that for years. For probably 5 years, I forgot about that. I had to go back and say, what was my aspiration? What was my thing that gave me the feeling of that energy and that vitality and the life of film? And that's what it was for me. I find this is true just as much in relationships. When people fall out of love, it's not even so much that, maybe you did fall out of love, but did you stop doing the things that made you fall in love to begin with? And that isn't just about relationships either. That's about this. That's about film. That's about cinema. It's about lighting. It's about all this stuff. This isn't like the easiest thing to jump into and get a paycheck for. There's unions, and the freelance work is crazy, and there's commercials which pay good, but to be able to get on one, that's difficult. There's AV work and everything, which also pays well, but it can be repetitive and tons of travel and stuff like that. So we get into it because we love it. But why? Why do we love this work? What was the thing that we were doing when we first got involved in this relationship with film that really sparked it for us, that really, really did it for us? What was that? So I encourage you today to take some time to think about why it is that you got involved in film in the first place. What was it that grabbed you and brought you in? And are you still going after that? Maybe what you wanted wasn't exactly what you thought you wanted, but the feeling still remains. And if you're still chasing that feeling down, then I think that's winning. I think that's winning in film. I really do. So go out and find what it is that your aspiration in film originally was, and see if it's changed, and see if, well, I kind of fell out here, but this is more of what I want, and I realize that, and I definitely know that now. And if that's changed, that's cool. But if it hasn't, it's hard to kind of go back, but it's worth it. It's worth it to try to remember, why did I fall in love in the first place?